What's up, everyone, and welcome back to the Stocks with Mike and Tom show. We have big news today related to Russia and Ukraine, what Powell said about interest rates and the economy, some big earnings from today, and the best stocks to watch tomorrow. So with that being said, let us know what stocks you are watching in the comments down below, and there's a good chance we cover them in tomorrow's video. But Tom, what is going on in the market?
Yeah, it's insane, Mike. The S&P 500 actually had a really good day today, but as we know, the Russia news is not stopping anytime soon. There's still bad reports coming out. CNBC is reporting that Russian forces have launched more than 450 missiles into Ukraine so far. That is a lot of missiles within such a short amount of time. We can see that there is some pictures here of some of the destruction. It's definitely not looking good in Ukraine, and I've been seeing a bunch of stuff with Russian soldiers and obviously that convoy that is approaching Kyiv. So that's going to be very important to look at also. And all of these tensions have made oil just soar, Mike. Oil was over $110 a barrel today, the highest level since 2011. So as we know, these commodities are getting insane as all this war rages on.
Yeah, that is insane, Tom. Like you said, oil prices are just booming to the upside. Crude oil futures had a high of around $112.50 per barrel today. So that is crazy to see, and it's kind of unfortunate.
Yeah, it is. It's getting so high now. Gasoline futures are also on the rise here. /RB, it ran all the way up to $3.36 today. So definitely getting high with the gas prices also. It's never good to see that. And like they said, it's the highest levels on crude oil since 2011. Let's look at the max weekly chart. You can see how much we're actually making up from the downfall of the past decade. So yeah, it's right back on the uptrend, and it doesn't look like it's going to stop anytime soon, as it looks like US companies are going to stop using Russian oil and stuff like that. And it's just making the situation have like a snowball effect.
Very true. Very true. All right, Tom. So we also had Powell speak today, and the markets actually had a really good day. So what's going on related to Powell and his testimony?
Yeah, Powell appeared before Congress today, and in short, he pretty much said that we will be raising interest rates, although it is uncertain how the Ukraine tensions are going to affect that right now. He did say that he's expecting to see a series of quarter percentage point increases coming, but the whole point is that we don't know how this Russia-Ukraine conflict is going to affect their decision to increase those. They might increase it like half a percentage point. They might increase it a quarter of a percentage point. He doesn't know if the situation is going to persist and how much longer this is going to weigh on the U.S. markets. As we know, the SPY did pretty good today. Whenever he started talking, the SPY started shooting right back to the upside. So that was nice. I know that people have said we might not raise rates as quickly, and the banks have been going down a lot because of that, but it seems like they did like what he had to say today.
Very true. How about we pull up that Fed interest rate tool really quickly so we can see that the markets have fully priced in a rate increase for the March 16th Fed meeting. We can see there's around a 96% chance of a 25 to 50 basis point rate hike. So that is big. And traders overall right now are pricing in 5 quarter percentage point increases that would take the, I guess you can say, interest rates from basically 0% to around 1.25%. So overall, we are seeing rising rates being priced in, which is a good thing. Eventually you have to raise rates. You can't just be giving out free money forever, because then there will be some serious problems. But overall, keep an eye on those bank stocks. And, when rates do rise, while it might hurt stocks in the short term, for the long term, it is a good thing.
Yeah, it is. And like you mentioned, these banks are getting pretty low here. Like if we look at JP Morgan on the daily chart, they are pretty far off their all-time highs. And I'm honestly looking at them pretty hard right now for a longer term position. They might keep going down in the shorter term, but I'm definitely going to be eyeing them up to possibly average in or to even short some puts on. So I think it's definitely a good thing to look at some of these banks right now for the long term with how they're dipping down.
Good to know. So, Tom, related to earnings, we have Snowflake just dying in after hours today. It closed around $265 a share, and right now it's trading for $186.
Yeah, this is insane. They moved in a drastic way to the downside, and they actually had some pretty good numbers. I have a pretty cool article here that shows their earnings, and we can see they had 102% year over year growth on their on their Q4 revenue, which is great. And for the year of 2022, they reported a gain of 106% year over year on that revenue. So that's awesome to see, Mike. Those type of or that type of growth is amazing. Anytime you grow over 100% in any type of numbers, it's great. Their total customers even grew 44% year over year. So sounds like they're doing pretty good, but they ended up falling off in after hours, Mike, and they ended up announcing that they might be pretty much buying out a new company or acquiring them. And that company is going to be called Streamlit. And this is a pretty cool company. They make it very easy to make different applications and stuff like that. As you can see here, this is kind of like an insight into their script system. But overall, I mean, they are tanking, Mike, and their numbers weren't terrible.
Yeah, that's true. So their numbers were not bad. Some people were saying that Snowflake was a little overvalued before they reported earnings. And then another thing too is when it comes down to mergers and acquisitions, the company that is actually paying the money normally falls off of the acquisition or merger news. And then another thing is that Snowflake's guidance for this upcoming year was not as good as analysts were expecting. So overall, Snowflake is just getting destroyed. And on another note, Tom, we actually have another, I guess you can say, AI/software company that reported today, and that's ticker symbol AI.
Yeah, AI themselves is actually doing pretty well here in after hours. I know that AI is doing a lot better than Snowflake, that is, and they reported quarterly losses of 7 cents per share, but that beat the analyst expectation by 74%. They were expected to come in at a negative 0.27 EPS, and they also had great sales numbers. The company reported quarterly sales of 69.8 million, which beat the analyst consensus estimate of 66.78 million. So it's good to see them beat on that. Obviously, anytime you beat on revenue and also on that EPS, it's just a good combination, Mike. And they also raised their guidance for this year. So that was great to see too. I know the guidance has been very important lately, which is part of the reason why Snowflake is falling.
Very, very true. So Tom, while it's awesome to see some of these stocks move in some volatile ways, how is the market looking and what levels do you have for the SPY for the rest of the week?
Yeah, the SPY actually just hit a pretty big resistance today, right around the close of right at market close, to say the least. But it looks like it hit right around that 439.72 resistance. You could just say 439.50, somewhere right around 440 as well. So anywhere between 438 to 440 is a big resistance, in my opinion. We've had multiple bounces right here back to the downside. Looks like we are also falling back down in after hours. And as we go down, I think that this 432 support from earlier this morning is going to be pretty key. And then below that, I see 427. If you want to look at a bit of an intraday level, I think I see like 435 to 436 as being a bit of an intraday support, but it's not as big as 432 in my eyes.
All right, good to know. So the market had a decent day today, but just like Tom said, there is a lot of resistance overhead. So just be on the lookout for that. But Tom, for like the rest of the week, what is on the schedule, especially with Powell and maybe some earnings?
Yeah, Powell's going to be speaking again tomorrow at 10 a.m. So definitely keep that on the radar. As we can see, he made the market go up quite well today. And, if he speaks tomorrow and, the market likes what he has to say, we might start breaking out pretty well up above 440. So definitely look at that. And then as far as the earnings coming out, Mike, we still have some pretty big ones. Tomorrow before open, we have Best Buy and Kroger. I know that those two have been pretty big. And then even TD Ameritrade, we use Thinkorswim. So they're going to be reporting tomorrow. That's pretty big. But tomorrow, the biggest one to me, Mike, is going to be Costco and after hours. They've been a pretty big retailer over the past couple of years. And I'm also interested in Smith & Wesson, the gun maker.
Yeah, I was actually just going to bring that up, Tom. How is SWBI doing, which is Smith & Wesson?
They're actually doing quite well over the past few weeks. But the thing is they've been on a pretty bad downtrend over the past couple of years. As we know, ever since Joe Biden took office, this stock really tumbled off to the downside, or I should say, ever since we know that Joe Biden won the election, we tanked off. Obviously, the legislation with guns is not the best whenever Democrats hold office. So just keep that in mind as far as Smith and Wesson goes. But we are on the recovery, Mike, and I'm starting to wonder if maybe some of this war news is playing an effect on them.
Yeah, we shall see. So I definitely have my eye on SWBI over the next couple days. I feel like it's trading at a pretty decent level. So good stuff there. I just want to give a giant shout out to our member of the day today, which is Wiley Trading. Shout out Wiley Trading, aka Peter in the Discord. He's been in the chat for quite some time, and we really appreciate all of your activity and positivity within the group chat. So huge shout out, Peter. Thanks for being in the chat. If you guys want to join the Discord, it's going to be the link in the description down below. It'll say like free stock Discord chat, and it's completely free, and you can network with a bunch of other traders. But Tom, do you have any final thoughts before we wrap up today's video?
Yeah, one more stock that's moving today, Mike, was ChargePoint. We had another earnings play. They ended up flying up in after hours, doing pretty well. They reported a quarterly revenue increase of 90% year over year and an annual revenue increase of 65% year over year. So looks like ChargePoint came out with some pretty good numbers. I can't wait to see how that conference call goes and how their guidance looks. But so far, they're also moving to the upside in a big way. I know that some stocks like Blink and stocks like that have been holding their ground the past few days in a pretty good way. So maybe we'll start to see runs out of like Blink and then stocks like RUN as well. I think that those stocks might start to pop in sympathy.
Yeah, we'll see, Tom. All right, so let's get right to these momentum plays. With the first one, we have LOGI to the upside.
Yeah, Logitech, go ahead and make them break out above $78.
All right, with the next one, we have good old Zoom to the upside.
Yeah, Zoom, I hope that they go up tomorrow too. They had a pretty good like double top today, right around 123. So make them break that key level there.
And then with the last one, we have Intel also to the upside.
Yeah, Intel had a great day today, actually. I've been liking Intel over the past few days, but go ahead and make them break out above $49. And Mike, I know the bot had a pretty good play on Intel.
Yeah, we'll showcase that bot play in a minute. I just want to give these final levels and recap. So we are watching Intel, Zoom, and Logitech for potential day trades to the upside tomorrow, only if they break above the levels Tom listed. But Tom, let's get right to that bot play. So if you guys trade options, check this out. Our hybrid bot today called out the Intel 48 strike calls at $80 each. A couple hours later, they went all the way up to $118 each. The bot had an awesome call out today. The Intel play popped for 47.5%. Yesterday's VXX play popped for 82.7%. The day before that, the Roblox play popped 56%. And the bot's been on fire. So if you trade options, definitely check out that first link in the description and the comments down below. Of course, the bot does not win every single play, but it does a pretty dang good job. And you can cancel it anytime. So if you don't like it, just cancel. But it's been doing pretty good. So definitely check it out. And on top of that, we have a coupon running. So it's like $41 off your first month. So definitely check it out in the comments down below. Other than that, if you guys like today's video and if you're new here, please consider subscribing. We post brand new videos every single day. But other than that, thank you guys so much for watching.